So you're going to need two external 4 inches by 1.5 inches, two external, two internal of 3.5 by 1.5, a piece of vinyl measuring in at 3.5 by 2.5, one external and one internal of 5.5 by 2.5, one external, one internal of 5.5 by 1.5, 4 zipper tabs in whichever fabric you like, 1 inches by 2 inches, and 1 pull in whatever fabric you like by 2 inches by 2.5 inches. An external piece plus interfacing. I have used a heavy weight interfacing woven 5.5 by 4 inches, and then you're going to need 3 sections of internal pieces 5.5 by 4 inches. Seems like a lot of fiddling, but it comes together very quickly. You will also need 2 zippers at least 6 inches long. We're going to start with our vinyl section, and we're going to take the 2 externals 4 inches by 1.5 inches and the other 3.5 inches by 1.5 inches, 2 external, 2 internal. Have some underclips handy, get your vinyl section, and you're going to place your external section of 3.5 by 2.5, and then you're going to get the internal section, so whatever's on the inside of your fabric, and you're going to sandwich them 2 pieces together like so. And I use clips because pins aren't really a good idea when it comes to working with vinyl. And clip them together, and you're going to sew straight across here. Once it's sewn into place, you're going to open it up, and then you're going to top stitch both these sections down. Now let's do the same thing with the other side. You're going to take your main fabric and clip it down. This just helps stop it moving on you. And then you're going to put this on this side. Take it over to your sewing machine, stitch into place, flip it over and top stitch. Place the unit on the cutting mat so you can see that the 2 inches is within the 2 inches of the vinyl, and just cut the excess off so it measures at 4 inches. It's just a little bit that we're just trimming off. Now take your 2 external sections 4 inches by 1.5 inches, and we're literally going to make some belt straps out of it. Do both of these at the same time. So you're going to fold it over in half, and you're going to press, and do that with the other section. And then you open it out, and then you're going to fold one section in half like so, so it meets in the center. You're going to fold the other piece in half so that meets that center. And then you'll fold the whole piece in half. It will be hot. Like so. You're creating a binding and press this down. This is exactly how you would make a belt strap or a strap on a bag. So go do that with the other one. So you're going to take your vinyl section and you're just going to enclose them last 2 ends like so. You're going to take a clip, underclip it into place and sew into place. Now take your 5.5 inch by 4.5 inch, the part that has the external plus the interfacing. We're going to put the interface into the back of this section. So this is the wrong side of my external piece, and then it's got fusible on it and you can see the shiny side. That will go face down and it will go onto the back of my external section. Make sure the fabric is facing the direction that you want it to go. You're going to find your center on this piece and you're going to mark it. You're going to take the ID part of your wallet and you're going to make sure that this part is going across, and you're going to fold it over and you're going to find the center of this two. Match the two centers and clip into place. You're going to stitch all the way around the ID wallet, but you're going to leave one side open. If you currently place a card in here, it's going to slip about, which you don't want. So place a card in here like so, and then you're going to stitch some lines down each side. Don't obviously stitch over the top of the plastic. Stitch a little bit over the side, just so it doesn't wobble about. Now, as you can see, the card doesn't move about so freely, and you can get it in and out easily. So put this section to one side. We will now be working with one of our zippers, and the 5.5 inches by 2.5 by 5.5 inches by 1.5. I'm first of all going to put my tabs on. So I'm going to cut my zip down to 4.5 inches. So I'm going to cut this off this end. Obviously open your zipper off before doing this and cut to 4.5 inches. I'm going to take my zipper tabs, I'm going to put them on. It helps if you use a wonder clip for this as well. So I'm going to put my fabric right sides down, and I'm going to take another tab, and I'm going to, it's exactly the same as how we did the vinyl. So they're both right sides facing the zip, and I'm going to stitch that into place. Once it's stitched, flip it over, and we're going to top stitch this into place. Do the same with the other side of the zipper. Find the center of your zip. You're just going to fold it over and press and just make a mark again. And I'm just using the 5.5 by 1.5. I'm just going to fold it over. I'm going to find the center of that. Then I'm just going to cut the excess off the zipper tabs here. Now it's going to be easier if you just close the zipper up. Take one of your 5.5 by 1.5 external sections, and then also take the internal section and just wedge it into place like so. Clip it into place and sew all the way down. Once you've sewn that into place, you're going to flip both sections back, and then you're going to once again top stitch this down into place. You're going to take your next side and make sure it's facing the right way. You're going to put that face down against the zip, and you're going to get your interior section, and you're going to put that right side facing the zip, and it's all sandwiched in, and you're going to wonder clip that into place. So I went ahead and top stitched that into place. The next thing I recommend you do, or we are going to do, we're going to create a separate pocket for this. I'm going to use one of the 5.5 by 4 inches internal sections. And then what we're going to do is turn it round and then turn this face down. And then what you're going to do is you're going to stitch all the way around the outside here. You don't have to keep the zip open or anything. When you do stitch these two together, keep it very close to the top of the external section. We don't want to go 1/4 inch. So really, it's just to join these two pieces together basically. We're going to make the pull in exactly the same way as what we did with the binding, where you fold it over, fold it in on itself, and then you can... My cat really wants to be on camera. So you're making that belt strap thing. This is what it's like filming with a cat around. So basically you have this kind of like belt loop thing. So you're going to sew it down both here and here. I apologise for my cat, but he is not going to move out of the way. So we're just going to have to film around him. So you're going to take one of your external pieces, which this is the one with the ID wallet. And then you're going to put your zip face down onto that. And then you're going to take your external piece of fabric and put that on the top. So it's basically like how we've been doing everything else. And then you're going to stitch along here. Another thing is, if you want both zippers to be facing the same way, make sure they are at this point. And also the ID opening wants to be on the same side as whatever the zipper is on too. So once that is sewn into place, you're going to open everything up, you're going to flip everything back, finger press, and then you will top stitch both of these sections down. So the next thing we're going to do is, we have this part all complete. So you're going to take your other section of your external piece and you're going to place that face down, and you're going to make sure that everything is lined up. So it's lined up with the other sections here. And you're going to get your internal piece and you're going to place that face down. Hope my cat's not too much in the way. In the way? Hey? Press like if you like my Gatsby in the videos. Now you're going to open everything out and you're going to top stitch that into place. Now you're going to take the loop section and you're going to fold it over like so, and you're going to take the raw edges of the loop, so the loop is going to be the inside, you're going to place it about center of your ID wallet. You can fold this over and find the exact center. I'm just going to eyeball it. You're going to cut off the zippers, the ends of the zippers should I say, and then open this up. So this is the most important part of this tutorial. Open the zipper up, and then you're going to cut the excess of this zipper away here and then here. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to put these two sections right sides together. You're going to put these two sections right sides together, and you're also going to mark at the bottom of your internal side what's going to be inside, not the external. You're going to mark 2.5 inches down here. Now you're going to take this to a sewing machine, you're going to sew all the way around this pouch, and you're going to stop at this opening. Don't sew this. You're going to cut off any of the excess thread, but don't cut through the threads because you'll end up with some holes in your pouch. Just be careful where you cut. Now through that opening that we left, we're going to pull everything right sides through, and you can find the zipper and just push that down. It'll help you even more, and then just push it through. Then with that opening open, I will push my corners through. Looks so much better when you push the corners through. I also do that with my internal section. Another good thing to do is to check that everything is all stitched down and into place, and there's no holes anywhere. So once you check that, you can then push. Oh no, we need to close that lining. So you're going to fold this over like so, and you are going to stitch this down once you've done your checks. And now you can push that lining down. Just push it down there, the corners, like so. And then you maybe just have to push this zipper up. Now we have it, one cute ID wallet that has a little loop. You can now put a keyring in there, and you can do a lanyard if you wanted to. That would hold that into place if you were going to work. And it also has your little pocket in here, and it also has your pocket there. And it's both lined here and here. I hope you've enjoyed this sewing tutorial. I have many more, over 500 sewing and quilting tutorials on my channel, so please subscribe and I'll see you in the next video.